Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Nick. I talk all about trading and investing, and we are going to do some Sunday special analysis. If you're familiar with these segments, basically each week I come in here and I talk about some of the trade setups and concepts that I'm looking at for the week ahead. Now, this is an interesting time because, oh wait, let's change that color. That's going to do us no good. This week, we had Christmas, okay? So coming into, well, I guess technically it's last week since today is Sunday. Last week we had Christmas, which caused the markets to get really quiet. And usually during this time, from Christmas all the way until New Year's Day, we get markets that are kind of quiet, okay? Usually. Now, there's been some years, I remember in 2018, where we had like a crazy dip and then rally during the Christmas period. You can go back and look in December of 2018 on the S&P 500. Really interesting time because we got a lot of, sell pressure and then right away got a bunch of buy pressure. That was definitely an interesting year. So I'm not going to say that it's impossible for anything to get moving this week, but I think it is more likely going to be a quiet week in the markets. Now, that doesn't mean we shouldn't still do some analysis and talk about what's going on, especially since we've got a big thing on the horizon, which is a new year. Now, when we're talking about new years in the market, it's always an interesting time because you have this kind of sense of optimism of, especially this year, right? We have 2020 being a crazy year, and going into next year, a lot of people are going to be optimistic about, jumping back into markets as well as things opening up, hopefully, right? Fingers crossed. And then you've got, of course, a lot of traders out there who are looking optimistically at 2021 as going to be their year. Now, I'm going to encourage you, start now. Don't wait until the new year to think that your trading is going to magically change because, newsflash, it probably is not unless you make the adjustments required. Now, right before we get into some currencies and commodities analysis, I was taking a look at Roku this morning, which is a stock. Now, the reason I was doing that is because we just started, and this is really exciting for us at A1 Trading. We just started our brand new stock market Discord. We've got a couple, well, right now it's just Frank and I as analysts. You guys know I'm interested in stocks. I invest mostly in them, but Frank is more of an active trader. If you guys want to join this and get free stuff here, free analysis and content, I'm going to drop a link down below in the comments section. So check that out. I'm going to pin that message and you guys can join this completely for free. Check it out if you're interested in stocks. Okay, so let's go on here and let's start with the big one. Of course, we're going to talk about euro dollar. Now, euro dollar, I got to say, it really did pull through on the analysis that we made earlier this quarter here. I think it was in October, or I think it was November, actually. November, we said that we think Euro USD is going to try and get above that 1.2 and stay above. And we did, in fact, so far meet that criteria. Now, unless we have a drastic drop here on the euro dollar the rest of this year, I think that that prediction is going to hold. I almost wish that I had put some sort of options on this saying, calls above 1.2 or some sort of bet like that, but I didn't. Although I did take a couple great long positions here on the way up here. So very happy with how those performed. Not going to complain at all. Anyways, that brings us to today's analysis. Well, what's going on with euro dollar? Well, I think that it is possible that we could retest this high on a bigger time frame, right? But I don't think personally that we're going to get back below 1.2 right now. With that said, that's going to be the biggest area of previous resistance. The question is, will it come down to test? And if so, I think that that is very likely to hold as support. So that's one scenario on the bullish side that I personally like. We are above that 200-day simple moving average, which to me is a bullish sentiment generally, right? So that is giving me that bullish side of things. However, we also have, room for a pullback here. I'm going to say that, right? Because we've been on this really, really great run. And usually what happens after a great run is we get some sort of mild pullback. And so that's why it makes even more sense that it does seem like we could see a retest of 1.2, maybe by the end of the year, but probably in next year. So if that happens, to me, that's still a buy zone going into 2021. So that's going to be the biggest setup that I see personally on euro dollar for the time being. Let's move on to pound dollar. I put a poll on my Instagram. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, there's a link in the description if you want to follow me there. But I put a link just for fun. I said, which one do you guys prefer, EU or GU? And most people prefer GU, it seems. So that's kind of an interesting little fact there for you. I think it was like 60-40. So 60% people say they prefer trading GBPUSD, which makes a little bit more sense in the sense that, there's some volatility there. However, we did get a rally there off of this low. We did some analysis last week. And or during, we did a live stream actually last week, and we did in fact hold that area that we were talking about on the live stream, which is really kind of cool. If price breaks through this, this is interesting because this is kind of a structural area here right where we're at right now, because we did put in this really clear high point here right around that 1.35 zone, right? We put in that high point. You can see a really clear sell-off candle, and then price followed through. Now we've broken through that level and we've kind of chopped around, which makes sense because again, we're at the end of the year, less volume, not as much stuff going on. A lot of times that's going to lead to less decisive price action movement. Not always, but a lot of times. So with that said, as we rally off of this trend line and we do we retest this resistance, to me, I'm still bullish on this pair. I personally like the idea of watching for some strength and then looking for that pullback again, looking for something like this. That, to me, if we can break through this level a little bit more decisively, looks pretty bullish. However, there's some stuff going on with Brexit right now, which is kind of a hot topic. So generally, the pound dollar has been very, very volatile, back and forth, as things are still being decided. So I would watch out for that. And for some of you guys, I know a lot of people have mentioned that they just have been avoiding trading the pound pairs because of that volatility there. Okay, let's talk about gold. Gold is a big one because we've been tagging this resistance level, and it seems like price is having a hard time breaking through it for now. I mentioned in a past Sunday special that if price, as we were coming down to this point, I actually mentioned that I think price is going to rally and probably make its way back to the top or upper band of this downward resistance channel, right? And so now we are there. Now the question is, for the bulls out there, those long-term bulls, right? Because we are above that 200-day, we are, long-term bullish. Can we break above? And if so, are we going to look for some sort of opportunity to get long on the retest? That, to me, is my favorite setup on gold. I am a bull on gold going into 2021. And would love the opportunity to buy this thing on a dip or a pullback. I'm not just buying it yet because I do want to see that this channel gets broken to the upside, because if it does just decide to go lower, then I'm not interested in trying to buy this thing. In fact, at some point, if that were to happen, if we were to get a decisive push lower, I'd be looking to short under the 200-day moving average on some sort of structural resistance. So those are my two scenarios that I'm watching for gold going into the rest of this year. Of course, if I take any trades, I will share them publicly inside of the A1 trading community. For those of you guys who are not in it, there is a link in the description. We now actually have two communities. I got to specify almost. We have a Forex community and we have a stock market community. There is a link for information down below in the description for both. Okay, so with that said, let's see what else we can get ourselves into. So we mentioned we took a look at GU, EU, and gold so far. Let's take one look at USDJPY just to see if there's anything else. Still doing the same thing. I have not liked trading UJ the last few months, really, because we've been so choppy and indecisive. And I've always liked this pair as a trending pair, but we just haven't had it in 2020. Really kind of strange. I mean, if you go back to here, you can see pretty decisive trends one way or the other, right? Trending. But recently, we've just had this kind of slow, very gross back and forth downtrend. So not as interesting to me right now. Guys, that's all I've got for this week. It is going to be a slower week. I hope you're enjoying the holidays if you celebrate them. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your year now. Just a couple days left. And if you're not already, come join us inside of the A1 trading communities, plural, because there's two now. If you like stocks or you like currencies, again, check them out down below in the description. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you this week.